Welcome to Sheriff's Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV7. Join us every week as we talk various aspects of law enforcement and how important it is for the citizens and law enforcement to work together. Now join us for another edition of Sheriff Talk on KWN Live and Local TV Channel 7. Welcome into Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. We welcome you into another edition, and good morning.
Good morning.
Detective, Sheriff, how are y'all?
Good, how are you?
Or good day. I guess some people watch this at 3 in the morning, or 3 in the afternoon, but we welcome you into the program as we continue. This is the first full week, and we hope that that's all it will be, as the governor has issued the stay-at-home order for I would say a majority, but it's not the majority. I think the majority of the folks are connected to businesses that are essential.
Yeah.
Seems to be
right.
anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lot less traffic on the roads. I mean,
Right.
You can tell a big difference in that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thankfully,
Absolutely.
a lot of people can work at home.
And not for a commercial, and I won't mention the insurance company, but one of the major insurance companies came out this morning. They've had such a reduction in wrecks and liabilities that they're giving back 15% of their premiums to their customers over the next 2 months.
That's great.
Because they've not had any claims.
Yeah.
Because the roads have been a lot safer.
Yeah, that would not be my insurance company.
Well, I'll
read
say,
that online.
I will say it is mine. So I'm
Good for you.
tickled. I'm tickled. I guess every little bit helps, if you will.
Does.
It's been trying time, Sheriff.
Yeah, it's been tough. We're not used to this. And, I know in our lifetime we've never seen anything like this. And just hopefully, another week or so we can get this thing on the down curve and get back to life as normal, for somewhat anyway.
I definitely hope. I hope you're exactly right, and I do believe. I do believe most folks are staying. I've seen more and more people wearing the face, whether it be a scarf or a homemade mask. I'm trying to, if I go into a store or something where there may be a lot of folks or whatever, where you can't, like we are doing the social distancing here, but a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
So it's, they recommend, it's not required, but they recommend that you wear some type of mask. I saw a couple of elderly ladies, and it's funny because they put the scarf around and it looked like the old West bandana, where you're holding somebody up,
Yeah. On a serious note, that's who we need to think about, is the elderly, because they can't fight this off like healthy people can, and we need to really put them at the forefront of this as far as protecting them.
Absolutely, and I think y'all have done a wonderful job of being able to make sure if anybody can't get out and go on their own to the drugstore or to the shopping food store, that y'all have delivered a lot of meals, and a lot of groceries.
We've helped several elderly people that need that help, and please continue. If you need that, they need that service, please call us and let us know, and we'll help you any way we can.
Absolutely. So I think that most folks are complying. Now, and we're going to take our first break here in a few minutes, and we're going to come back and talk about a few people that have not. But most folks are complying, and when the governor put down his order, and we're talking about the state of Georgia, but now Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama are all under a stay-at-home governor's directive. The governor of the state of Georgia did put some penalties in that, and there is a Georgia code that basically says you can't defy a governor's order. Yes. And I think it's a misdemeanor, but that's what several of the folks have been charged with. We're going to take our first break of the morning or of the show, and we'll come back. We'll talk more about that. Stay with us. Sheriff Talk continues.
Each of the four gospel writers presents a different aspect of the person of Jesus Christ. Matthew presents him as Israel's Messiah, Mark as God's servant, Luke as the perfect man, and John reveals Jesus as the eternal Word of God. At Easter 2020, we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
As we come together, let's focus on the positive of Good Friday and the Resurrection Sunday. This message brought to you by Dade County Sheriff Ray Cross.
The power to work. That's what you get with genuine Husqvarna products. And now through the Husqvarna Fleet Program at York Small Engines, you also have the power to get free Husqvarna Power products. Purchase a Husqvarna 52-inch Z400 Series zero-turn mower and get a free backpack blower, plus a free string trimmer. Then you'll be ready to take on the great outdoors with the power of Husqvarna. The Husqvarna Fleet Program at York Small Engine is the clear choice for great value and superior performance. See the full line of quality Husqvarna products at York Small Engines, located on Highway 41 in Jasper. Stop in and see the new Husqvarna Fleet packages, or give them a call at 942-3965. With your new Husqvarna 52-inch Z400 Series zero-turn mower, you'll get a free backpack blower and free string trimmer. For a limited time, get no down payment and 0% financing, available up to 48 months. See dealer for details. Husqvarna, the power to get it done.
The Moore family name has built a legacy of trust, compassion, and peace of mind by standing with families during time of loss. Now in our 70th year, the Moore family commitment grows even stronger, from affordable, traditional services to cremation. Our experienced staff stands ready to follow through on you and your family's wishes. Since 1945, the Moore family of funeral homes, North Sand Mountain and Trenton, always dedicated to those we serve. Come hungry and leave satisfied at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon. Cloud's Pizza uses only the freshest ingredients, and we hand toss our own pizza dough. Our pizzas are made from scratch when you order, so they're always fresh. And don't forget about our famous Sand Mountain cheese sticks. You can eat from the daily buffet or try a mouth-watering hamburger or cheeseburger. Come see your friends at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon, and never leave hungry. Call ahead at 597-3100 for Cloud's Pizza. Visit us on Facebook at Cloud's Pizza and more.
Come see us at Cloud's Pizza.
I worked 12-hour shifts at the recycling company with my dad, who's 72. That taught me a work ethic that I carry with me every day.
When you're running your own business and taking care of your disabled brother, you tend to learn about responsibility pretty quickly.
I was living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Growing up where I did, a lot of things could have gotten in the way of my goals, but I learned to push through. And that's what I bring to work every day.
My parents weren't fluent in English, so in school, I had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV, talking, of course, what everybody's talking about, the coronavirus and the aspects of what is happening with the shelter at home, shelter in place, depending on what state you're in. I like the governor of Tennessee. He called it a safer at home law. And that makes sense.
That's
true. It's a little bit different. But Governor Brian Kemp has instructed every sheriff in the state of Georgia to help enforce this.
Yeah, he has. We gave us power to make arrest under this order, which we have done. Not solely on that order, but there were other crimes involved. But we went ahead and added this charge to it because they blatantly disobeyed this order.
And you've had how many folks since this has started Friday evening?
I think 7. There were other charges, including this order.
I think a couple of them were DUIs. And, I mean, obviously.
Family violence.
And then family violence and several. So there has been folks actually charged with really defying the governor's order, which is another charge, and it's a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Which misdemeanors are punishable
up to 12 months.
12
up to 12 months
yeah, and a fine.
And a fine.
And possibly probation. If people not just disobeying this order, but if they want to get out here and commit crimes, we have room. We're going to put them in jail. I guarantee you that. We're not going to, if you steal from somebody, if you break in their house, you're going to jail. So we have room, and we will accommodate.
One of the good things that we talked about, the Chattanooga Police Department put out the fact that they've had a massive reduction in burglaries because there's somebody at home. Which is in most cases great, but they have seen a number. And then I heard Christy Smith, Chief Smith with the City of Trenton, yesterday on the update said, but on the same token, in Chattanooga basically said this as well, that they've seen a vast number increase in domestic violence.
Yeah, because you've got so many people at home now, and I'm sure in a lot of those, in just about every domestic violence that I've ever dealt with when I was a deputy and even as sheriff, the majority of those cases, alcohol's involved. And people lose their inhibitions and they get into these arguments and it escalates and goes from there. But that's what we see in most domestic violence cases, and I'm sure investigators do.
Definitely.
Have y'all seen an increase since the order?
We haven't had a big increase. We've had a few cases of instances of, like the other day, we had a couple that got arrested for domestic violence. But actually, in our county, I think they've come down since this started. When you think so?
I agree, it has so far, and it's kind of surprising, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, there is a lot of folks that are, they're obeying the order to try to stay at home because after all, the order is not to make you stay at home. It's to keep you healthy.
Yep.
Keep you safe.
Keep you safe. I've said it a bunch of times over the last couple of weeks. It's for your family, your neighbors, and yourself.
Well, I've never liked big government trying to tell us what to do. I mean, you should have common sense to know the right thing to do, but some people just don't get it, and that's why some of these laws have to be made because of a few people. Not the majority does obey and does. I don't want to say obey. They do follow the rules to keep people safe, but you always have that small number that just don't care.
And I also told people that this kind of puts all of us that's got a few years on us back to a great civic lesson because we're seeing the civic lessons work. President Trump is getting a lot of pushback. Well, why don't you make it a nationwide shelter at home? And because he said, I love the Constitution, and constitutionally the states have rights, and I'm wanting the governors to do the right thing, and most of them have. And he's getting a lot of push.
Right.
I mean, obviously, every day in his press briefings, shut the country down, and going, but that's not, that's not what we got here. The governors need to make their own choices for their individual states, and so we're getting a good civics lesson in all of this, where the governor of any state has a lot of power.
Sure
Absolutely.
do. Yep.
Lots of power. Because I know Governor Kemp, when he put out this order, one of the orders that they wrote up in this, and I'm sure you read it, that no local government can add to nor take away.
That's right. Yeah.
And, that kind of superseded everybody else's authority for the state of emergency.
And as far as power, the sheriffs do too, and a lot of it, something like this comes from the governor to the sheriffs, and it gives us even more power. But it's how, you're sitting in that seat of authority and power. It's how you handle that power and how you distribute that out to your citizens. And that's one thing we're trying to do here in Dade County is not harass people. That's the last thing I'm going to tolerate from my deputies. Do not harass people out here. They have to go get groceries. They have to get their prescriptions filled. There's some essential things they have to do. But when you're out here riding the streets and you're drinking and driving, or you're committing family violence acts along with this, you're going to get charged with this order too. So, last thing we want to do is force people to stay at home. That's not, I agree with the Constitution 110%. We do not want to infringe on their rights, but some people just don't get it, and we'll get out here and abuse these laws and stuff, and
I
it has to be implemented.
From everything that you said, maybe not the family violence, but from these folks that have been arrested, say for DUI, had they obeyed the governor's order to stay at home, they would have not. They couldn't have been driving DUI.
Exactly.
If they were staying at home. Yeah. So if they'd obeyed this order, then they wouldn't have got all these other charges.
Exactly.
Well, one thing gets me, and I know people fall in moments of weakness, but how many years has the DUI law been around? For decades, centuries. And you have commercials all the time about you get arrested, DUI, you're going to jail and stuff. So people know, it's not like they don't know. They know what they're doing. They just take that chance of getting caught, and some of them do. But this is a time where it's even more prevalent that we need to stay in our homes and away from other people right now. Once we get this under control, and I was watching Fox this morning, and it looks like the curve is slowly coming down. I know New York has fewer cases this morning than they have been having, and I think the social distancing is working for the most part. So if we're on that downhill curve, I know this week is supposed to be the worst week, but hopefully it's getting better. And the quicker it does, the quicker we can get back to life as normal, because I'm missing baseball, Evan. I know you are.
Yes.
We're going to be missing football.
Yes,
football coming in the fall. So we want to be at those sporting events and concerts and whatever, gatherings, get back in church. We need to be.
Yeah, this is Easter week, and this is we've never had to deal with no church on Sunday.
Right, especially Easter Sunday. That's
absolutely. I used to get a kick out of Brother David. He'd say he was always tempted to pass out on Easter Sunday, pass out the Christmas poinsettias, because that'd be the next time he'd see them would be at Christmas. So, Christmas and Easter. And the same way at Christmas, you pass out Easter lilies, because that'd be the next time you would see them.
Speaking of the pastors and the churches, Evan, I want to give a big shout out to the pastors that are doing the online, Facebook, and everything else. That's just awesome.
All of our ministries that we have here on the radio and the TV have, of course, they've been doing videos all the time, but we through ITV Chattanooga, we put all of those videos up on demand where people can watch them anytime they want to. And I text some of the pastors over the weekend. Out of 200 channels, this station that you can tell on KWN TV through Tennessee Valley Net's got What's Hot, and most of their programs were in the top 7 out of 200 channels being watched at the. So a lot of folks are watching the local ministries.
Yeah,
lots of them.
I'm glad.
So that is good. That is good, and it gives you a chance to, if you don't go to the particular church, you go over here. You can watch them all and kind of sample them.
That's it.
We're at home. We're at home. Why not watch more than one?
Exactly.
There's no rule that says you only have to go to listen to one sermon.
That's right.
Listen to one a day if you want to, or 2 or 3 a day, or whatever. So I think that's good. We're going to take another break. Lots more to talk about here as we just all do our part to stay apart. We're back after this. Dade County School Superintendent Dr. Jan Harris, all the employees of the Dade County School System, and the Dade County Board of Education on this spring break week reminds you this weekend is Easter. Enjoy your spring break and the Easter weekend. We also remind you that digital learning and food distribution for the Dade County Board of Education will restart next Monday. Happy Easter from the Dade County Board of Education.
Georgia Northwestern Technical College is now accepting applications for classes. We offer programs in business, health, industrial, and public service at 6 campus locations with financial aid options as well. Take day, evening, or online classes to get your degree, diploma, or certificate. Apply now. Drop by one of our campuses today or check us out at gntc.edu. Georgia Northwestern Technical College.
Gigabit Internet residential service is now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber in Jackson and Marshall County. Residential gig service is now available for only $79.95. Call today to have your gig service installed at 256-437-5000. High-speed fiber residential gig internet service now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber. Business and commercial customers can get gig service too. Call for pricing 256-437-5000. Gig service from North Alabama Electric Co-op. 256-437-5000.
When you need a licensed plumber, call Stacy Ledwell and the staff at Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Mr. Rooter provides your home or business with advanced solutions using high-tech equipment. Our commitment to customer satisfaction shines through in our personalized service. When you schedule an appointment, our professionals will dedicate time to explain the work that has to be done. Our staff will give you upfront pricing, so you'll know exactly what's involved before any work begins. We even pump septic tanks and do new construction on houses. Fully licensed, bonded, and insured, Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Call Stacy Ledwell today to set up an appointment at 256-574-4710.
Spring is just around the corner, and your lawn care and decisions about lawn care are soon to be on the horizon. Let me tell you about a good, dependable lawn care service that's ready to provide you honest, dependable lawn care and at a reasonable price. Holman's Lawn Care is ready to maintain your yard this spring. Call Denny Holman at 423-280-6495. Denny will be happy to provide you references and a free estimate. From residential to commercial, each lawn will be done with their personal commitment. Don't put your lawn care decision off any longer. Call Holman's Lawn Care, 423-280-6495.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. Different times, and I want to say I talked with Sheriff Bo Burnett earlier today, and he had to attend a funeral. And I apologize, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was a building inspector there in Marion County for 30 years. And he's having a private funeral, and pretty much everybody's having private funerals and limited either just services that they can't have except just a few family members. But he is, I think he said he was one of the pallbearers, so he said he hopes to be back next week.
Yeah, it's sad that.
Very much sad. Very much sad. Said he'd been their building inspector. I believe he said 30 years. In Marion County. So,
and on a break, you were talking about Wyoming and the state, and you say they've had 0 cases.
That's the only state in the nation that still does not have any cases, and it's Wyoming. And if you've been to Wyoming, you can understand that's one of the governors that have yet to put a shelter-in-place order, because he said we've been social distancing now for 130 years.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know, and that's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so hopefully, and if you look, this whole region in Jackson, DeKalb, Marion, Sequatchie, Hamilton, Bradley, Dade, Walker, Catoosa, Chattooga, we have hopefully plateaued. I know there was a few extra cases in Hamilton County yesterday. I think there was one extra in Jackson County yesterday. But as a whole region, we've kind of leveled off. So I hope that we'll be able to maintain that. This will be the third day. If we're able to hold off and level off again today, that shows some kind of pattern that it's not escalating. So that is some great news. What type of challenges and I'm sure you've talked with the folks at the Georgia Sheriff's Association and different things. What kind of challenges is the entire state having and other sheriffs?
Well, the main thing is the PPE, the personal protective equipment, getting gloves and hand sanitizer and thermometers and everything else like that. That's the biggest challenge, is getting the equipment that we need. And we know doctors in the medical field, nurses, they need that first, and I understand that, and that's goes without saying, but that's one of our biggest challenges, is getting the equipment to use.
Now, your officers do have them, correct?
We do, yes.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I had a lady just text me earlier and want to know if we need any masks, and I said not at the present time, but keep that thought in mind. We've also ordered a ultraviolet system for our jail that is supposed to kill viruses and stuff, and we're going to be getting that pretty soon to help with not just COVID-19 but other flu strains and stuff. So
there's so many different challenges that you have to face when you arrest somebody.
Yes.
Because now you've got to, and I'm assuming y'all have already got guidelines in place of not putting somebody that you arrest right back into population.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we as a matter of fact, anybody that's thinking about committing a crime, if you come to jail, you're going to be quarantined for 14 days in one of our holding cells. So that's another deterrent from coming to jail, because now you're not going to be just going to the back. You're going to be quarantined in a cell for at least 14 days before you're moved anywhere. So that's hopefully will stop a lot of crimes from happening. People hear that, so.
Well, I mean, it's a safety. It's a safety not only for the inmate, but also for everybody, really.
And that's anybody gets arrested. That's not just somebody that has a temperature. Of course, we're not bringing them into jail if they have a temperature, but we're taking every precaution we can to stop, especially getting our officers infected or our inmates.
Now, if somebody is stopped and arrested and they do have a temperature, what are you taking them on to the hospital or telemed, or what are you doing?
I think we're doing telemed and seeing, because we're not going to take them straight to the hospital because a lot of times they get turned away, but we have telemed, our nurse is there, and she can get in touch with the doctor, over the.
But so far, y'all are not doing any testing inside the jail.
No, we don't have the test kits, first of all, yet in this county, so they would have to be taken if someone is showing signs of the virus. They will be transported.
I know a couple of our providers can do the test. I mean, I'm talking about medical providers, but obviously, as a government, we don't have any test here locally.
Right now.
Go ahead.
Excuse me. Right now, anybody that enters the jail automatically has to use hand sanitizer and have their temperature taken, whether it's an officer
or the sheriff,
or anybody that walks into it.
I put an order that anybody that enters that jail is to have their temperature taken, and including me. And I went back there just to test her today, and one of them got busy and forgot, and I went and told them, I said, I just went back in the jail and they didn't take my temperature. Let's get that straightened out, and they did. So now they know whoever comes back there is going to get. To include the sheriff.
It just makes, because once you have prisoners that come down with this virus, it could spread pretty easy, rampant, and nobody needs to get this. And so far, I mean, there's been a few folks that have been in prison and in the county jails in the country that have come down, but it's not been widespread, so that's good.
Yeah. One thing, Evan, we are down on our inmate workers. I want to let folks know this. We have very few right now because a lot of them have served their time and they bonded out, and we don't have a lot of new ones coming in because of this virus. So I think we've only got 2 or 3 inmate workers right now. So I apologize for that, but once this is over, hopefully that number will come back up and we get them back out here working. But the ones we do have, some of them don't qualify for inmate workers. Some of them have some serious charges, and we not going to put them out here in the public. So that's where we're kind of short right now. So, if people are calling needing inmate workers, that's the problem we're facing right now.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a break. Stay with us. More to come here on Sheriff Talk.
Was falsely accused, illegally tried. and cruelly executed. Yet he prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Throughout the centuries, millions have found in him the love of God and the key to everlasting life. And at Easter 2020, we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
This message brought to you by the Dade Water and Sewer Authority. Happy Easter from the Dade Water and Sewer Authority, proudly bringing you quality on tap.
A good lawyer personally leads his clients through every step of the personal injury case process. Paralegals, investigators, and staff cannot be substituted for the professional guidance of an actual trial lawyer. Often the most important interview with a client is the first interview. Many firms send an investigator or staff person to conduct the first client meeting. At the Bandy firm, Sean Richardson or Marshall Bandy will always be there to interview you and discuss your case during the first meeting and every meeting thereafter. Utilizing 65 years of combined trial experience, attorney Sean Richardson and Marshall Bandy will be there to guide you every step of the way. If you've been injured due to the negligence of another, call the Bandy firm today. They'll be with you every step of the way. The Bandy firm, 706-935-STEP, or on the web at bandylaw.com. The Bandy firm, every step of the way. 706-935-STEP. That's 706-935-7837.
The Big Jet Fly. We're caught in a trap. One of these nights, love will keep us together. In the name of love. Ow, she's our breath. Ow. Wouldn't it be nice if we were older? The Big Jet Fly. WFI.
Can you gig it? Oh, yes, you can. We know you've been waiting for a long time, and now Tennessee Valley Net is bringing it to you. Gigabit internet service now available in certain areas of Dade County. Not just fast, super fast internet service now available from Tennessee Valley Net. People are talking, I mean really smiling about gig speed internet available in limited areas from Tennessee Valley Net. Call today at 706-657-4367 or log on at tvn.net and see if gig speed is available where you are. We know you'll gig it from Tennessee Valley Net.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV, talking about these troubling times with the COVID-19 and the stay-at-home orders for Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama. And I know that there has, well, matter of fact, the county commission last week asked or sent a letter to the governor, which as far as airtime, he's not responded to it, asking them to close our local park. Now, you may have seen the press on the Tybee Islands, the beaches, yes. And the locals there had it closed. And when this executive order of the governor's went into effect, that opened them back up. And he has been very reluctant to do anything other than putting enforcement in place. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen some pictures where there's not been a lot of people. You can't sit down. You can't bring an umbrella. You can't do, you can't do the normal things that you could have a crowd around you, but you can walk down the beach, and that seems to be working. The pictures that I've seen since he has implemented those procedures mm-hmm. and put the state troopers and the game wardens out effectively managing that, it seems to be working.
Yeah, so far, I guess. I know our park this last Cloud Canyon last weekend was down from the previous week. I know the previous week was just chaos from what all the.
Well, the first 2 weeks it was just overrun. Yeah. It was overrun, and we still had the no more than 10 in a group, had to be 6 feet apart. All of that was in place then, mm-hmm. but nobody was doing it.
Yeah. Right. Well, I was in touch with Sergeant Mike Barr with DNR last week. Of course, I was out sick with a stomach virus, and he was home with a back problem, so we were communicating with our officers, and he was also. And I told him any help that he needed from us, that we're there to help.
And from what I understand, this weekend went very well. County executives reported on a couple of times that there's been 70, 80, 90 cars. And the governor did respond by putting a limit of 150 cars in the park at any given time. And some other things that go along with that. But then he dispatched a number of the game wardens along with the park rangers to enforce the.
Yeah. And you say 150 cars, which we had, I think, average around 90 per day. But that's vehicles, and you times that by maybe 4 in a car, so you're looking at 300 or 400 people at one time in the park. So the problem would be keeping them separated as far as not having more than 10. So fortunately, they didn't have that problem this past weekend. I talked to them, and they had officers down at the bottom at the waterfalls and the trails, and then at the top, and they didn't have to disperse anybody. They were doing it on their own, so that's good. But we still don't need those visitors coming from others, especially hot spots from other states, and coming into Dade County and bringing this potential virus into our county, which I understand, and I agree with Commissioner Rumley wholeheartedly that we don't need that in our county.
Well, I think originally your New York's, you know, even the governor of the state of Florida, when you came in, there was a lot of reports that, you know, they were stopping you and turning people around, and sometimes I like what Channel 9 did. Channel 9 about a week and a half ago put out a statement: if you're getting your news from Facebook, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Because you should not get your news from Facebook if it's not a legitimate news organization. Then, I mean, you know, so there was a lot of that they were stopping cars at the state line and turning them around. That was never what they were doing. Florida had officers there, and you would get stopped. They would ask you what you were doing if you had a Louisiana or New York tag.
Tell you something kind of humorous, Evan, you talk about Facebook, and the other night, last Friday, when this order was going into effect at 6 p.m. on Friday evening, at about the same time, we had the power company advise us of I think a power line was down or something close to one of those county lines or state lines. And right at around 6 o'clock when that happened, people got on Facebook and said, Dade County is shutting the roads down to Dade County. That's how.
Why do people think that they need to do something like that?
I don't know. That's how things get thrown out of proportion. Rumors get started, and that was not the case. We were helping the power company with a power line, so it just happened to be a coincidence. It happened the same time the band went into order. So,
well, and the governor is it Santos?
DeSantos
out in Florida.
In Florida, you know what he wanted for those two states, you know, Louisiana and New York. Now they didn't even turn them around. They just asked them, were they going? And if they said, well, we have a summer home here, then they asked them to go to that place, go ahead and go, and shelter in place for 14 days. I mean, so they wasn't even turned away. Yeah. They were just told to go on to wherever you're going, stay there and shelter in place for 14 days, kind of self-quarantine because of you moving from that mega hot spot of New York. And it's terrible. It is terrible up there. And Louisiana, around New Orleans, is doing the same way. So, I mean, we have, you know, normally we have quite a bit of traffic in Dade County for New York tags, but it's around the lineman school.
It is, yeah. A lot of, you know, we used to go there and speak, and the majority of the classes was New York, New Jersey residents.
But they've all went home.
Yeah, as far as I understand, I know there's not any new ones coming in right now.
Yeah, I was at the gas station. I guess it's been close to 2 weeks now after they graduated, and there was a young gentleman there in New York tags, and he was filling up with gas, and I told him to be safe, and he said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm going back home, and this New York tag is not going to be good for me driving from here up there, but I got to go back home."
Yeah.
I mean, he already knew the scrutiny he might be under, but he was going home.
And there's a lot of them that's not from New York City; they're from upper state New York and places that are rural like us.
Right.
And they don't even are associated with that virus. So, you know, they get the stigma of being classified in that category, though.
Right, and I'm glad that our state park has seemed to be in compliance, I guess, the last couple over the weekend, according to the commissioner and Rumley. Doesn't seem to be overwhelmed. He even at the bottom, the first couple of weekends they were parking in people's yards and driveways over in Kleinland Canyon Estates, which is a violation of law to begin with. I don't know why people thought that they could just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you live beside the entrance and I just pulled up in your yard, that wouldn't be good.
No, that'd be good.
Unless I ask you if it was okay.
A lot of them are parked over the white line too on the side of the road, and that's illegal. So.
Well, I think it seems like years, but weeks ago when we first started this, it's just common sense. Good common sense. Yeah. That's all we need.
And even the more we do this, stay at home, and get the quicker
we can return to normal.
These people's gonna get to go back to work. Your restaurant employees that's their sole income. They don't have a job right now for the most part. If they do, those that get tips, their tips are way down because you're not doing inside eating and dining. So it's affecting everybody. We need to do that for them, and plus, without saying the elderly people. So that's what we need to focus on. Don't be selfish and think about, us. What about them that don't have jobs, that can't work right now? How are they going to make it? So I know this stimulus check coming is going to help somewhat, but they still got rent coming due, and even if they do waive that a little bit, they're going to have to, once this is over, they're going to have to catch back up, and it's just going to be tougher.
Let's talk a little bit about, because I know there's been concerns about what can be open, what can't. We're going to take another break. More Sheriff Talk on the way here on KWN TV. This message brought to you by the Dade County Board of Commissioners and the Dade County government, reminding you this is Easter weekend. Happy Easter, everyone. Good Friday, all county offices will be closed with the exception of the transfer station. That's right, the transfer station will be operated on normal hours this coming Friday. Remember, all other county offices will be closed on Friday. Happy Easter from the Dade County government employees and the Dade County Commission.
Hassle-free, so easy buying experience that you deserve is waiting for you at the all-new Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC in beautiful Kimball, Tennessee.
Choose from the Chevys, Buicks, and professional-grade GMC trucks.
Get low rates and fast, affordable financing to fit everyone's budget. So come get the best buying experience imaginable.
Where I promise we will make buying a new Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC so easy. Shop us online anytime at riversidechevroletbuickgmc.com.
Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. At 402 North Cedar Avenue in South Pittsburgh, 4765 Main Street in Jasper, and at 14087 Highway 28 in Whitwell. Providing the highest standard of customer services with a personal touch. Our associates can help you with personal loans, personal lines of credit, a variety of mortgage loans, and more. And we offer real-time internet banking too. See us in South Pittsburgh, Jasper, and Whitwell today. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
145 over 92.
180 over 111.
182 over 100. And I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest. And then a stroke.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life.
A lot of people don't understand, including myself, I didn't, now I do, the impact of having a stroke.
My memory is shot.
When I woke up, I couldn't speak.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
It's a tough journey.
Lowering your high blood pressure could save you from a heart attack or stroke. If you've stopped your treatment plan, restart it or talk to your doctor about creating one that works better for you. Start taking the right steps at manageyourbp.org.
It's a new life, but I'm gonna make it better. I'm coming back. Ask your doctor, check your blood pressure.
Rising Fawn Hardware is your place for all your gardening needs. Seeds, onion sets, cabbage, strawberry plants, and more. A complete line of home hardware items, too. Everything for the house, including plumbing, hardware, and metal roofs. Plus, Rising Fawn Hardware has everything you need for your livestock, including name brands like Nutria, Tucker, and Faithway. Always with a hometown atmosphere, it's Rising Fawn Hardware. 4300 Highway 11 South in Rising Fawn. Open 8 in the morning till 6 at night, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 8 to noon on Wednesday. Even open on Saturday from 8 until 4. Rising Fawn Hardware. When you or a loved one is facing a life-limiting illness, hospice care may be the answer. At Tapestry Hospice, the patient is the focus of our care. We are here to serve you and facilitate your wishes. Tapestry caregivers are concerned with managing your pain, keeping you in touch with your physician, and helping you make plans for the future. Hospice is life-affirming, and Tapestry Hospice can help you deal with all aspects of life, mind, body, and soul. Call Tapestry Hospice for more information. 706-383-8812. That's 706-383-8812. Tapestry Hospice. Redefining hope.
The week began with his triumphal entry into Jerusalem, crowds shouting, "Hosanna to the Son of David." It ended with his crucifixion, death, and burial. But on the third day, he rose from the grave, victorious over sin and death. And at Easter 2020, we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
The Northwest Georgia Worship Center and Pastor Nick Forshee stopping to focus in on the positive, the resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Happy Easter, everyone.
You know, Sheriff, before we, and he's zoomed in the camera here.
Yeah, Cindy had to step out.
Yeah, I think she's coming back now, so. Oh, she is? Yeah. I can fix it if she wants to. Yeah, so she's having allergies. So that's good.
She says.
731 new deaths in New York reported as of yesterday, the biggest one-day jump in the outbreak. They're having a terrible, terrible time. Now, we also have to keep in mind the amount of population. Right. No death is too many. No death is too many. But I think Georgia's we're well over 200, but there's 11 million people in the state. Yeah. When they go to looking at statistics, as far as
comparatively low compared to the number of
right
residents. Yeah.
Right. I mean, in New York they had 731. We've had just over 200 total. Yeah.
I'd like to say one's too many. So, Evan, I want to kind of clear something up when we were talking about people coming into our state. We're not talking about the local areas like Bryant and Higdon and Jackson County, DeKalb County. We're not talking about those folks. We definitely want them in our counties. They do a lot of business here. We're talking about people from these hot spots like Louisiana, New York, and Chicago, places where they have a large number of people that could be transmitting this disease. We consider these local places like DeKalb and Jackson and Marion County places, they're part of us too. They're border states. And I just want to clear that up. We're not talking about you. We're talking about these hotspot places.
It's as an elected, just as an official, not necessarily elected official, it's a huge responsibility right now because the safety and well-being of your county, and you're what they call in the state of Georgia the high sheriff of our county, which that's literally a term because the sheriffs have so much power. In probably more power than you have ever really thought. I know you go through the Sheriff Academy and they kind of tell you, but the individual person, just everyday person, don't realize the amount of responsibility. I won't say authority. I'll say responsibility that you carry.
Well, we do have a lot of power, but that power needs to be used in the right way. It does not need to be abused. It does not be to intimidate people or anything else. It's to help. We're here to serve and protect. And that's our main goal. It always has been in law enforcement. Now, are there people that abuse that power? Yes, they are everywhere. But you try to do the right thing when you're sitting in this seat as a sheriff or a governor or whatever, and treat people just like the golden rule says, the way you want to be treated. And that's what I've always tried to do as sheriff, and we'll continue to do that.
The order of the governor, we're talking about the state of Georgia, talks about whatever the FEMA essential businesses are is what we're going. And a lot of folks have said, well, they're still working down at this manufacturer, they're still working at this manufacturer, and we are fortunate to the point that just about all of our manufacturing in the industrial park here in the city of Trenton and in Dade County is deemed essential.
Yeah, I've got a list here from ACCG, which is Association of County Governments Commissioners, and they do our insurance and everything else, but we got a list of about at least 40 essential businesses and services that we have to keep going to get by. I know when this ban was first coming in last Friday, my phone was rang off the hook from contractors. They won't know if they can go to work and do that. And yes, you're an essential part of the
any construction worker.
Yeah. Electricians,
plumbers, all essential because it's an essential part of our daily lives.
And their employees, because they have to have the employees to do it.
One of the questions, what about our industrial park plants that are still operating? Well, of course they are, because you got some manufacturers that build automobile parts. They're essential. Some manufacturers that build parts for transportation, like Vanguard, they're essential. That's transportation. Medical.
Now those essential businesses are supposed to still do the social distancing inside the plants and stuff that they work. So they have to take precautions too, not just business as usual. They have to do some of these other steps to keep them working, but for the most part they can go to work.
So I think we said at the beginning of this show, the larger population is essential. Of course, all emergency services, media outlets, grocery stores, drug stores. There's, a lot of these folks are considered essential.
Right.
And rightfully so on most of them. I've some people have said, well, my husband works here or my wife works here. Well, the job that they do may not be right then essential, but they supply things to the transportation industry, the automobile industry, the health industry, and all of that has to keep going, or as they say, we're in a world of hurt.
Yeah, I think the Dow's coming back up. Stock market's looking a little better than it was weeks ago.
I've seen
so
that.
that's a good uplifting note there. So maybe. Hopefully this thing will get out of here pretty quick and we get back to getting the economy built back up.
You cannot go to a SOP and say, okay, let's go get this one and run it, because there's a lot of things that are happening now. We've never had this before. Yeah. There's no guidelines on it because it's never happened. And
and hopefully it never happens again.
Absolutely, for sure.
This is a different animal. We can deal with crimes and everything else that happen. This is like the president says, this is an invisible enemy that we're fighting here. So.
I think that's a good analogy. This is a war. Our doctors, EMTs, paramedics, nurses, respiratory therapists, hospital workers, they're on the front lines. They're our, they're basically our Marines. They're charging in. They're the first in. Yep. All of these folks that, even your officers, when they go out on the scene and they're going into a hostile medical environment or a potential environment.
And not only are they just going in that environment, they're coming out of it and then going home to their families. So they don't know if they got infected or not, and possibly taking this home. So it's a scary time, and it's very dangerous too.
We're going to take our last break. When we come back, we will talk and give some numbers out in case there's some of you out there that are watching that need some help. We'll have more coming up right after this.
For some, Easter's all about bunnies, egg hunts, and baskets of candy. But for others, Easter is more importantly about grace and love, an empty tomb, and life beyond the grave. At Easter 2020, his followers around the world paused to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
John Emmett, attorney at law, north on the courthouse square, would like to say Happy Easter as we focus in on the positive, the resurrection of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. This message brought to you by John Emmett, attorney at law.
NL Tax and Bookkeeping is ready to serve all of your tax needs. Nancy Anderton's been serving the tri-state area since 1978. Now you can get your taxes prepared with no out-of-pocket expenses. Ask about up to a $1,200 refund advance. It's fast, easy, safe, and convenient. NL Tax and Bookkeeping is open 8:30 a.m. till 6:30 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, and 8:30 a.m. till 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Questions about the Affordable Care Act? We have those answers too. And we offer a free form price comparison. Experienced and professional tax services. NL Tax and Bookkeeping. 500 Alabama Highway 73, 7 miles from downtown Trenton. Call today at 706-657-4758 or 256-597-2829. NL Tax and Bookkeeping. 706-657-4758 or 256-597-2829.
Stevie B's in Fort Payne is open for delivery and for pickup. That's right, Stevie B's, that delicious pizza that you've come to know and love, is available for you right now. We offer delivery through DoorDash and online ordering through our website at StevieB's.com. Curbside pickup available with online credit cards. Call ahead and have it ready for you, that delicious pizza, at 256-979-1234. That's 256-979-1234. And when you arrive, we'll even bring it out to you. Although we have a big company name, we're locally owned, and we are here for you during this time. We'll remind you to support your local businesses. And for a limited time, use promo code FB3OFF to receive $3 off your order when you're ordering online. Stevie B's, 2200 Galt Avenue North, open 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. Central Time for takeout and delivery. Visit our website at StevieB's.com.
Got just a couple of minutes left, guys, and welcome back. Thank you. I know your department is helping, and we need to get that number out. But let me stress before they do, if you're in Marion County, Jackson County, DeKalb County, Walker County, anywhere, and you need something, not that you want something, but you need something, call the non-emergency number of your local sheriff's department, police department. They will find you. If they don't do it themselves, they will find somebody to take care of your need.
Yeah, sure will. Okay, Evan, our senior citizen that are need help with groceries and prescriptions pickup, if they want to call us, make sure, of course, they're prepaid, that they give us a call. It's 706-944-3329. I'll repeat that one more time for people who didn't have a pen. Let me go ahead and give our local number first. It's 706-657-3233 or 657-DADE. And the other number for help with those prescriptions and groceries is 706-944-3329. And we'll get Tommy or Chad or somebody. If they're not available, we'll get somebody to go get their groceries. If they can't, I'll go get them myself. But we're here to help in any way we can with that.
We need to do our part to stay apart.
Yes.
I think if everyone will just do that, stay at home unless you need to get out and go somewhere, go to work, back and forth. But I don't like the term social distancing because we can be social and be physically distant. I think it's physical distance technically is what, but hey, I didn't name it, so.
I'm sitting there looking at the monitor. We kind of look like a Easter egg basket with a green and purple and black over here.
Right. Well, this will be the closest to the Easter egg basket that we probably will get, the unfortunate thing. Hopefully there's enough, I'm sure some kids at home, and we got to go, but I had someone call up today and say how we could do Easter eggs, trying to be creative. Mm-hmm. But anyway, stay safe. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching Sheriff Talk.
Happy Easter.
You've been watching Sheriff Talk, live from the studios of KWN TV 7, all around the tri-state area, as we give you information that you can use concerning law enforcement. Join us again next week for another episode of Sheriff Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV 7.